Hi, I'm Kylie, an incoming freshman at MIT who is accepted into Harvard, Stanford, MIT, and Caltech, and I'm here at the St. Luke's Magic Valley Hospital to talk to you about the troubles I had as a woman in STEM. Let's go! A lot of people have shared their stories about being a woman or a male in STEM, and I'd like to share my personal story about it. Maybe it'll help give you guys some insight about it. Also, this is kind of a story about somebody living in a small town who's interested in STEM, so that also plays a role. So let me get started. I'm particularly interested in astronomy and astrophysics, so a lot of the experiences that I've had have been in the observatory, but I've also had some experiences with computer science and other things. So I'm just going to start off with that and then go into the observatory stuff as well. So when I was a sophomore or junior in high school, I can't remember which, I took a programming class. And in this programming class, there were basically only males. And oftentimes we would have guest teachers and things like that who would substitute for the normal professors who were teaching the class. Not professors, just teachers, but whatever. And oftentimes they would mistaken my name for male names because they automatically assumed that in this class full of guys, it would only be guys. And I'm not very girly. Like, I don't put on makeup and I don't dress very girly. Like, I don't wear pinks or purples or typical stereotypical girlish clothing. So I understood that, but that was my first experience with the sexism within the STEM community. And I was very young at the age, so it was a very shocking experience just to have that happen over and over. Like, it wasn't a one-time thing. Like, we would have multiple guest teachers, and every single time they would call me like Kyle or some other, like, because my name's Kylie, so some other male version of Kylie. And eventually came to deal with that and just say, oh, my name's Kylie, did you mean Kylie? And they'll be like, oh, sorry, whatever. But at the beginning, it was a real shocker for me, and that was kind of my introduction into that. When I started doing some volunteering work at the observatory, the local observatory here in Idaho, that was also very, very male-oriented. So there was a lot of situations in which I was the only girl there as well. So it would be me, sometimes my brother, and the observatory coordinator, Chris, and then some other guy who was there, who was always there for volunteering as well. And oftentimes I felt kind of left out and mistreated, and let me expound on that. So when I would try and talk to one of the other guys, they wouldn't look at me. I would try to ask questions and they would turn to somebody else and respond, and sometimes I couldn't even ask questions without feeling like I was being purposefully ignored and things like that. And I'm not sure if it was the atmosphere or if it was the fact that they felt like I was an amateur or something like that, but I had to get over the fact that that only happened to me. Like, my brother is male, his name's Kason, and he didn't get treated like that. And so I felt kind of like it was unfair, but that was another hurdle I had to get over. I had to really push for it. Like, I kept asking questions. I kept trying to get them to pay attention to me, to realize that I'm on the same level as them. And so that was a barrier that I had to overcome as somebody who was obviously thinking about going into astrophysics. And so astrophysics was important enough to me for me to really get over that. And so even though it was a challenge and I felt absolutely mistreated and it was terrible, but it helped me grow as a person and learn that sometimes it's out of your control, and so you just have to make what you can out of the situation. And the people there ended up being some of my best mentors. So you just need to learn to push forward. If you're a woman in STEM in that kind of situation, don't get disheartened. Just push forward, like I did before. Really make sure that you earn their respect. Even if it takes you 2 or 3 times as hard as your male peers, go for it. It will pay off. You'll make some of the best friends and have the best mentors, even if it takes you more effort, because I know you can. So. However, I wasn't always mistreated. There were a lot of good scenarios as well. Like, I was one of the few female students in a college physics class that I took, also one of a few high school students, so I had a lot of minority statuses there. And my physics professor was very, very kind. He was very accepting from the beginning. When I asked questions, he would talk to me and not somebody else. He was very accepting in general of what I was doing, and he really helped me learn. And over time, as he realized I was one of the most dedicated and hardworking students in the class, he allowed me to go past what the class was doing. So I would come up and I would talk to him about things, and he would tell me stories about what it was like in college as a physics student. He would expound on topics and help me learn further, and he would give me opportunities to learn further. And so I was very, very grateful to that physics professor, and that's probably one of the reasons why I'm going into physics now, because of his encouragement. And he's very, very welcoming in that kind of sense. And so for the people who are really struggling out there, don't be disheartened. Physics is a very math-based field, but for any STEM field, not just physics, it's important to know that there are people who will support you out there. You just have to find them. And as a woman in STEM, that really helped me. Even though it wasn't a female role model, I feel like I didn't need a female role model. I just needed somebody who was willing to answer my questions, to open my curiosity, to help me out in finding what I liked about that field, to renew my passion, so to speak. And so finding people like that is very crucial to staying hooked into that kind of thing, especially in STEM, where you're constantly trying to find new inspiration. In that kind of reasoning, I guess STEM is like an art. Anyway, that was kind of my experience as being a woman in STEM and kind of becoming and looking forward to having a professional life in it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!